Strong warnings was voiced in Russia State Duma. Get ready for hard times. Nikolai Arefyev, the first deputy head of the Duma Committee on Economic Policy, told that Russia is entering 2026 without a safety caution and that a recession no longer seems unrealistic. What he says is most worrying: no foundation for growth. He says 2025 left a bad legacy. Inflation was noticeable, but the economy barely grew, so 2026 could be even harder. Inflation may keep rising because, in his words, Russia has very little domestic production and dependence on import remains high. Businesses are hitting pause because money is expensive now in Russia. With the K rate high, many companies can't get affordable loans now, so they delay investment and expansion. Bad company statistics that he claims that twice as many businesses are closing as opening, which he says as a clear sign the economy is shrinking. Why he doesn't see light at the end of the tunnel? Sanctions are not getting weaker now. They are tightening, and he says foreign relations are not improving now. He argues Russia reduced its dependencies on oil and gas now, but moved to another addiction: raw materials, with exports of ore, coal and metal still central now. He also mentions a gold addiction, saying a speculation with gold bars has grown. Russia 2026. Developers hit the brakes. New housing launches fell by 12% to 41 million square meters. Developers brought 41 million square meters of new housing projects to the markets in 2026, 12% less than in 2024. A very weak first half. The first half of the year was raw. Apartment sales dropped 26% year-on-year after the end of the large state-subsidized mortgage program. Developers responded by cutting new supply by 23%. They didn't want to take risk when demand was collapsing. Many expected an even worse result for the full year. The forecast was 35 million square meters, down 30%. A turnaround in the second half. In the second half, things changed. The central bank started cutting the key interest rate. Demand improved, and developers became more confident. From July to December, launches increased every month. December was especially strong. 5.2 million square meters were launched, the second best December result in the available data. In January, it was only 2 million. Regional picture: Moscow down 29%, Moscow region down 27%, St. Petersburg up 33%. The new built housing market froze at the start of 2026 because loans were expensive and buyers panicked. By the end of the year, it started to thaw. If interest rates keep falling in 2026, the new project launches could rise again. For now, developers are staying cautious. Fewer projects, but safer ones. Russian rail company RZD summed up 2026 and the numbers looks like the economy suddenly slowed down. The main signal that the total freight loading on the RZD network fell by 5.6% to about 1 billion tons, one of the lowest levels in many years. December was also negative, 4.6%. Freight turnover in December dropped by about 6%, meaning trains carried less cargo over shorter distances, where the fall was strongest. By cargo type, the picture is clear. Steel products 11%, scrap metal 32%, industrial raw materials and molding materials, construction materials, cement, oil and petroleum products. Coal also down, but less, 2.1%. In other words, heavily and construction related cargo, which usually reflect building activity, production and investment, fell the most. A couple of surprising positives. In December, grain shipments jumped 34%, even though for the whole year grain was still down 11% of a weaker year before. Two categories grew for the full year: fertilizer plus 3%, non-ferrous ore and sulfur raw materials plus 5%. The East is pulling but not saving the total. The most interesting part is geography. Exports to eastern directions rose. Growth was faster for non-coal cargo, containers, fertilizers or oil. Coal exports to the east also grew, but these look more like cargo being redirected rather than real overall growth. In 2026, cargo for the domestic economy and construction fell. Some exports were shifted to the east, but total loading still went down. For many, this is not just logistic, and it's an indicator. When metals and raw materials, construction goods and scrap are falling, it usually means investment and industrial activity are cooling. To get the maximum pension in Russia, you would need to earn about 248,000 rubles a month for 37 years in a row. According to calculations from the Federation Council and the Social Fund in Russia, the 2026 the highest possible pension will be about 67,000 rubles per month. To reach it, a person would need to work for decades with a very high salary. Senator Natalia Melnikova explained it simply. In 2026, to earn the maximum pension points, your month's salary must be at least 248,250 rubles. Only this level does the employer pay the maximum pension contributions. If someone earns this salary for 37 years, their pension will be about 67,000 rubles. This includes maximum points, plus a fixed payment of 9,000 rubles. Pension points become more valuable every year, but the salary threshold needed to get the maximum also rises. For most Russians, this kind of salary is unrealistic. The average wage in the country is 23 times lower. The conclusion is simple. If you want a big pension, you would have to earn a lot for most of your working life.